Hello everyone, getting into DCS and choosing your first aircraft can be a somewhat daunting task. If you don't understand the roles and capabilities of the various aircraft, you can end up like an Amish person on their very first visit to a brothel. Knowing exactly what you're buying can make a vast difference to your enjoyment of the sim. With this series I'll guide you through the roles, advantages and disadvantages of each aircraft. Welcome to DCS Which Plane. In this episode we're covering the F5E Tiger II. First off, I'd like to extend a very special thank you to Gun Griffin, who gave me the idea for this series. In this series, I will only cover aircraft that are complete or more or less complete. It's also important to be cognizant of the fact that these episodes are not reviews, but merely demonstrations and descriptions of the capabilities and roles of each aircraft. With introductions out of the way, let's throw our keys in the bowl and hope we don't end up going DVDA with your mum. The F5E was developed by Northrop Grumman in the early 1970s, with the first one being delivered to the US Air Force in April 1973. It was developed to be an inexpensive light fighter and to directly counteract the threat posed by the Soviet MiG-21. Because its capabilities closely matched those of the MiG-21, it was used between 1975 and 1990 as an Op-4 aircraft in various aggressor squadrons for training operations. It was extremely popular in the export market and saw combat in Yemen, Kenya, Morocco and Ethiopia. It's still used today by a few countries, perhaps most famously by the Swiss National Aerobatic Display Team. The F5 is a twin-engine supersonic aircraft. It has a range of 1400 kilometers and a top speed of Mach 1.6 at 11,000 meters. The F5E has a total of 7 hardpoints, 2 underwing and 1 wingtip on each wing and 1 center hardpoint. The wingtip rails are designed to carry air-to-air missiles, while the underwing and center hardpoints can carry bombs, rockets, missiles or fuel tanks. The primary role of the F5 is that of a light fighter interceptor. Its main weapon is the AIM-9P air-to-air missile. The radar has a range of 40 nautical miles and can acquire and lock targets from 10 nautical miles. The aircraft does not have IFF, so to avoid becoming that prick on a multiplayer server, you need to visually identify targets or use a ground controller. The AIM-9 has a range of about 5 nautical miles. The optical sight system is easy to use and quite reliable for missile launches. When your load is spent, the secondary weapon of the F5 are the twin 20mm cannons. They're fun to use, and I've heard it said with a bit of practice you can even down the AI aircraft with them. The F5E can also be used in a secondary ground attack role. It can carry various unguided bomb and rocket types alongside laser-guided bombs. However, the aircraft does not have lasing capabilities, so this must be done by another aircraft or ground vehicle. While I embarrass myself at ground attack, let's talk about the general pros and cons of this aircraft. As previously discussed, the F5E is a late third generation jet fighter. It's contemporaneous with the MiG-21 and is quite a good match in terms of systems and ability. While the MiG-21 has a much faster top speed, the F5E is much more manoeuvrable, particularly at lower speeds. Fighting against fourth generation aircraft is going to be a challenge. However, please remember these were used for many years in aggressor squadrons, so in the hands of a good pilot or artistic savant in multiplayer, they can be quite devastating. The aircraft is easy to learn how to fly and extremely forgiving of mistakes. In DCS there are many aircraft which seem to actively plot your demise. This is not one of them. Being a third generation US aircraft, the layout is very logical and the systems are very easy to learn. It does take a while to master, but the learning curve is generally a nice steady gradient. The aforementioned factors make the F5E an excellent choice for beginners, as a training aircraft, or for those deviants who love aerobatics. If your only interest is multi-generational or modern airquake, the F5E is not going to tickle your balls. Additionally, if your main interest is ground pounding and precision-guided munitions, the F5E is going to leave your shaft very understroked. I hope this video has provided a good general overview of the F5E Tiger II. If you're an aircraft whore like me, you're going to be happy anyway. Because after all, it has wings, engines, it flies and can be used to drop all sorts of interesting surprises on people in the third world. As always, I thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to dislike or tell me to go fuck myself below.